Hey guys, welcome back. This is Total Fitness Podcast. My name is Matthew.
I'm Walter.
And we are doing a new series, and this is going to be a weekly series, and it is the debate. So Walter and I are going to choose a side of a topic. Whether or not we agree with it, we each have assigned roles, and we'll tell you at the start of the podcast which assigned role we have. And we have to debate the pro side of it or the con side of it, depending on who gets chosen for what. So for example, today we are talking about deaths in bodybuilding and the health of athletes in bodybuilding. In the recent weeks, there has been a numerous amount of deaths due to bad coaching, some could say. So we are going to debate about that. I'm taking the side of the athlete. Walter's taking the side of the coach. So let's get started. As an athlete, I believe it is up to me and it's my responsibility to take care of myself. If I hire you to be my coach, I should have some sort of idea of what I am getting myself into. I cannot put 100% blind trust into you, because at that point, as this has shown, you have, there are a lot of chances that there's shoddy coaches out there. We shouldn't have to live in that world where there's shoddy coaches and there's bad doctors and there's bad lawyers, but it happens. So that is my stance as the athlete.
Okay, and I totally disagree. I'm not gonna do a riff on an old Saturday Night Live. Anyway, I think we as coaches have a responsibility, a moral responsibility to take care of our clients, to take care of those athletes we're dealing with, to the best of our ability. I think that if they are trying to take care of themselves, well, then what they've got is Google doctoring. And I know my real doctor hates that sort of thing when I come in and go, I've got blah, 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 blah. They need to trust what we offer. That, on the other hand, means we have a responsibility to offer the right stuff. Means you must educate yourself. You must continually educate yourself. It's not a matter of I learned something 20 years ago and now it's okay, because science is changing. As we're seeing with COVID, it's a constantly changing thing, and we have to keep on top of it, particularly if you're dealing with high-level athletes where you're giving them substances which may or may not be good for them, depending on how it's taken.
That's good. I'm going to counter that point with exactly something you said. You said you have to continually be learning. As an athlete, should we not be learning the process? I should be asking questions. I should have questions for my coach. I should be asking, is this good for me? Why am I taking this less than legal substance, I guess? Depending on.
Okay, we're talking about steroids here, but we're also talking about diuretics and other things that can cause serious bodily harm if they're not judged properly. And some of them shouldn't be taken at all. I mean, and diuretics should
not be taken. And that's why these people have died, and that's why we're talking about it. But should I not be asking these questions? If you as the coach just gave me a pill and said, take this, sure, I may trust you, but at the same time, I would say, what is this? I'm not even going to go to my doctor to be, hey, take this pill. It's called yada, yada, yada. It helps with this, 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 and this. Here's the side effects. I would still ask, okay, you've told me what it does. You told me why I'm taking it, but can you give me kind of a rundown of why I need to be taking this alongside the issues that I'm having? So I need to go, as an athlete, you need to go a level deeper and always wonder, what is the motive behind the coach? And what is this thing going to do to me? I can't just blindly follow, because that will lead me to possible injury, possible death even, right?
I don't disagree, but I disagree. I think that the problem is that you can end up having arguments. I mean, either at some point, the athlete either has to say, I trust you, or I walk away. Now, we've seen with sports teams, we've seen with those organizations that run large camps for bodybuilders, that sort of thing, where they're thinking about the win, they're not thinking about the athlete. And I think that's got to change, definitely. But try telling that to an NFL coach. Run. You're being paid this many $1 million. You got to do it, whatever, right? What you need is to have a coach that's going to say, you as an individual should not take that. Looking at what this does, you should not take that. I don't disagree with you looking up what things are.
Right.
And having some knowledge, but ultimately the relationship between the coach and the athlete has to have a level of trust or end the relationship.
That's fair. Of course, that's fair. I definitely agree with, again, the trust is needed. But I still would say, like, as the athlete, there can be the trust there, but you as the athlete know your limit. You know what you're getting yourself into. If you want to win, we'll use the NFL example. If you're getting paid millions of dollars to do something, you more than likely have some idea that what people are saying to you and what people are trying to offer you, whether it's a manager even trying to sign you a contract, this is the best one for me, like that type of thing. You know what you're getting yourself into. You know people are going to try to snake you. You know people are just trying to use you for your body, but it's also you as the athlete know what you are trying to achieve. You should have some, even if it's the most minuscule understanding of what is needed to get there. You have to understand you have a certain limit that you need to set for yourself and you're not willing to pass. If you are trying to be the best bodybuilder out there, there is some idea that you will be doing a lot of substances. If you're the best NFL player out there, you have the idea, if let's say a defensive tackle or something like that, you will probably get a couple of concussions. You will probably have a couple of muscle tears. You will probably have a coach that is going to say, take this substance as well, because that thing happens in professional sporting. It's not just limited to bodybuilding. It is in every sports association, unfortunately, but it happens. So as the athlete, you can either say no and walk away, or you can say yes and continue on, but that is your choice. It is not up to the coach to force something on you. It is not up to the coach to say, you have to do this, because you're the one who's executing the plan. They're just giving you the plan.
Okay, but I think that you're overestimating most people. I won't even say athletes. I think you're overestimating most people. If I know that I'm going for my pro card and I want my pro card, in today's world, I'm going to go, what's the magic bullet? What's the thing that's going to get it for me?
Yeah.
If my coach says, here, this diuretic is going to really shred you, you'll be dry as a bone when you step on stage, I might take it, because that's easier than drinking gallons of water for a week and then not drinking water as time goes on. You're right?
Right.
It's easier. We're used to a society where it's easier is sometimes it's better.
That's fair.
And that's where an athlete is not going to listen to their coach, is going to listen to their coach, whether the coach is right or wrong.
That's fair.
We're not arguing two sides. We're arguing the question, big picture, I think.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I think that, if I were at that level and I were 25 to 35, I would probably say, whatever you say, I got to win. I got to win. If I've reached that level, if I've reached Olympic level and it's win the gold or don't win the gold, my relationship with my coach is going to be anything you say that's going to get me there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do. And that's a mistake, because the coach has got to be the one to say, the coach has got to say, no, it's better if you don't get there.
Yeah.
In which case the book is going to say, my coach didn't help me.
That's true. I get that. That's fair. That's fair. I'll use boxing for example. So, that's something I'm going into now. So boxing, when it comes to being a boxer, it typically is up to the coach whether or not they can fight. For an amateur level, for example, it's up to the coach whether or not they can fight, whether or not they can spar, whether or not they stop the fight or continue the fight, who they really talk to. It's all those sort of things. Now, as the athlete, I do think, sure, to a certain point, the coach might have some sort of idea of what's going on. But in a ring, for example, I'm the one in the ring. I know what is going on. And I get it. You have these warrior types and these athletes who are willing to do whatever it takes to get the win and not sacrifice, it's the kill me or I win. That's the only option. And I get it. Some people are there to protect, but at the same time, there's definitely people that aren't. And there's a coach in the corner that's just going to say, continue on. And you have to be, as that athlete or as that boxer, you have to say, when I'm stepping into this ring, I know my limit, because if something breaks, like if a rib breaks and I can't breathe, or if my shit, excuse me, gets rocked too hard, I won't be able to continue. Now, I can either stay on the ground or stand back up. And you have the coaches in the corner who will sometimes say, stand back up, stand back up, stand back up. And it's happened. People have died because the coaches have continued to say, stand back up, stand back up. So yeah, of course, there's bad eggs and there's good eggs, but I do still think it's up to the discretion of the athlete to say, this is my point, this is my limit, this is how far I'm willing to go. If you're willing to say to yourself, I'm willing to die for what I do, that's fair. But you have to be the one to make that decision. Nobody else should be making that decision for you, especially in an athletic standpoint. Especially if it's something as brutal as boxing. You have to say, I'm willing to die on this canvas right here because I need to win this fight for whatever reason. Or you can say, I want to only go to this point. If I get knocked down once, then that's my fight. It is not up to the coach to decide whether or not you get knocked down or what happens. You're putting in the work. You're the one in the ring. You're doing all of that. So I think that's where that idea comes from, is you have to watch out for yourself first.
But I think that ultimately in that situation, you're only going to decide not to get up when you can't get up. Nobody's going to say, well, I could get up, but I think it would be best for me in the heat of the moment. But I think it would be best for me not to get up, so I'm just going to stay here. No, they're going to get up until they get hit up to the point where they can't get up, not yet dead. Right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
And I think that the decision making in that moment is going to be very difficult, unlike the decision to not take part in the Olympics because of your mental health issue.
Right.
A few days beforehand, to give it that kind of cold, measured thought, rather than in the middle of the
well, but that's
competition.
Let's bring up that topic then, the mental health side of things, because technically you could look at the coach at fault for the athlete's mental health issues, because the coach puts that pressure on the athlete to succeed. And the nation, I mean, unfortunately, at the Olympic standpoint, you have the nation behind you, especially if you're that high level and you draw in that many people. You have the whole nation upon you, but it's really the coach definitely has some impacts. And if you look at a list of gymnasts of, all these Olympic sports.
That's the first sport that I thought of.
Exactly. And you talk to any gymnastics person, or you talk to any cheerleader or any dancer who started at like the age of 4 and now at the age of 18 to 22, they're retired. And you're like, shouldn't this be like prime time for you? No, because my mental health is so fucked up, excuse my language, because my coach was an asshole. And all they did was put bad habits into my head. And I've been having so much trauma from it. And I need to focus on myself now. So unfortunately, that's again, that's where it comes from. And that's why I think, and again, your side of the story, fair enough, when you're a young kid and you don't have the ability to process that. But if you're getting to the point where you're 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, and you're still continuing on that awful cycle, and that showed, Simone Biles was the one who chose not to compete. It wasn't her coach saying you need to chill out. Her coach was probably like, what the hell are you doing? You need to. And then the PR came and he or she was probably like, oh yeah, I supported it 100%.
Oh, and we can parlay this into something.
Well, exactly. That's what it came down to, right? But sure, at the younger age, maybe 100%, the coach needs to be a good person. They need to have the intelligence. They need to have the information. They need to be looking out for the athlete. But it's, I mean, we started this off because of the bodybuilding deaths. You are a bodybuilder. You are 20 plus years old. I know a lot of kids are getting into it now, but like, let's say the majority is 20 years old. The people dying have been like in their 30s. You should know better. You have the ability and you have the choice to say yes or no. And if you are being led down this path of take this, take this, take this, take this, and you don't feel good, and you're like, man, this doesn't feel right, trust your gut, because it probably is not right.
Dude, what about the bodybuilding prep process? Feels good.
Fair enough. Let me rephrase that. When something feels gut feeling wrong,
Okay.
when you have like what's the word? Intuition, I guess.
Okay.
Because that's what one of the, if you watch, we'll name the name, Shelby Sarnes or something like that is the coach's name. Do not ever go to him. One of his athletes came on and said, I had a gut feeling that something was very wrong 2 days before my show when he was telling me to take all these diuretics and all these drugs. And I ended up taking them and I could barely even walk. I could barely even stand. Something was seriously wrong. She has been through preps before and she was with this coach and she was like, and she messaged the coach being like, something doesn't feel right. What do? I'm going to have some water. And the coach is like, don't have water. That is when you as the athlete have to realize, fuck, this guy does not care about me. I have to care about me. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I think as an athlete, yeah, we're looking out because the athlete we want to win. No matter what, we want to win. That's what we want first off. But we also want to get out of there alive. And the coach, as we have seen, especially with these bigger coaching systems or teams or whatever they are, they want the progress photo and that first place gold medal to show on their Instagram so they can get 10 more clients to do exactly the same thing you did by any means necessary.
Yeah.
I personally will not go with that person because I think that they are not going to care as much about me because they only want the gold. And I've seen that, and personally in my experience, I've seen that in people. I've seen that in coaches where it's like, if they don't see potential in you to win golds within a 12-week prep of starting with them, because they don't want to put like a year or 2 or 3 years into work with you, they don't give a shit. I want to be with the coach that has transformed somebody from a very unhealthy lifestyle to a very healthy lifestyle, or somebody who is, if we're talking bodybuilding, has transformed again, it could be a top tier bodybuilder, but this bodybuilder's blood work is amazing. Or this bodybuilder is talking about testimonial wise, saying, you know, he cares about my health. He does this and he does this. Because that's what I care about as the athlete. I want to win, but I also care about living. I want to make sure that what I do is sustainable. If I'm bodybuilding, I want to continue that on for years. If I'm boxing, I want to continue.
Also what stamps you as a coach.
That's fair.
Because you care about your athletes the same way as I do. I'm not going to put them through stuff that's going to harm them.
Of course not. But again, that's
my reputation is not worth it.
But that's what I'm saying. As the athlete, I'll break the molds here very quickly. And I'm not an athlete anymore. I'm a coach. As a coach, I've had people say to me, I won't do it. I won't do it. Fine. As an athlete, I'll continue as the athlete. It's hard to debate this, eh? As the athlete, yes, you are saying exactly that. You have to have that stamp of approval. But my choice is to go to that stamp of approval. It's to be that right person. I'm not leaving it up to you necessarily to say, do this, do this, do this, do this, because I will also do that myself, or I should know at least bare minimum that I need to do a certain few things or take certain things the right way or yada, 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 because that is the right thing for me. And again, Dr. Google, there is more than enough studies. And sometimes, yeah, Dr. Google is a bitch, but sometimes it actually does its work. And that's where I'm saying, sure, stamp of approval from that coach is great. No matter what, I will always be looking out for myself first. You're the athlete. You have to have that choice. Yes or no. Yes or no. That's all it comes down to. Anything that you make in life is a choice. It's either a yes or a no. Did you decide to wake up this morning at 7 or 7:05? Did you wake up or did you wake up to do cardio or sleep in? Like, yeah, I know. That's all I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, you have the choice, and it's not up to anybody else to say, take this drug. It's not up to anybody else to say, eat that chicken. I'm the athlete. I'm going to eat that chicken because I know it's going to get me to my goal. I'm going to take that drug because I know it's bad. It's a drug. You shouldn't probably be taking it if it's bought from some dude in an underground lab being like, this shit's the best shit, man. Take this. Or some dirty needle in a gym locker room. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, if you decide to take that, that is up to you. Your coach isn't telling you. And the coach may say, trust me, it's fine. But at the same time, you should also wonder what the coach's intention is. End rant. That's my rant. That's as far
I
as
think it's a really good rant, dude. And I think, I will just close by saying that your faith in humanity is lovely.
This is a debate. This is the debate.
I know. Yeah, I'm continuing the debate from my side.
Fair enough.
And I'm just saying that, not all coaches are good. Not all athletes are going to give the time to learn. They don't want to learn. Why should I do that? I'm going to trust the guy in the underground lab. I'm going to use the dirty needle. We know people who have fallen into all those categories across the board, right?
Fair enough.
And that is what humanity is about. I think I will. The debate's over. I agree with you. The athletes should take some concern about anything they do. Mm-hmm. Including rice and chicken. Rice and chicken. Can I do something else? Is there something else? Yeah. Cream of rice and turkey. But you do have the option of asking a question. If you don't understand why you're doing something, to just take anything because you're told at face value is wrong. We wouldn't do it from our parents when we were 17. Why would we do it from our coaches, bodybuilders at 17? Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I questioned everything my parents said to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, the debate's over. So we don't want to talk. We obviously want you guys to have your opinions matter as well. So please comment, whether or not you agree with the athlete or the coach's side of the story. At the end of the day, Walter and I are both coaches and we were both athletes. So we both believe that there is truth to both sides of this story. It's whether or not, is it more reliant on the coach? Is it more reliant on the athlete? We'd love to hear what you guys think. Please comment below, DM us even if you have any questions or want any topics that you want us to debate. We'd be more than happy to do so. Follow us on Instagram, Walter at your service, Matt Smith _fitness, and total.fitness.podcast. That's it.
That's it. That's very well done, Matthew.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Good stuff. Yes.
All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe.
Stay breezy.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.